The stars hung cold and distant in the void of space as the Draxian fleet surrounded the burning remains of New Terra Colony. Commander Vex stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the last fires die on the human settlement below. His scaled face twisted into what passed for a smile among his kind. "Too easy," Vex said to his second officer. "The humans talk big, but they fall like all the others." His crew celebrated around him. 20 warships of the Draxian Empire floated in formation, their weapons still hot from the attack. They had come to teach humanity a lesson. The Galactic Council had warned the Draxians to leave the humans alone, but Vex did not care. Earth was far away, and this colony was weak and undefended. "Sir, we are picking up something on long-range sensors," a young officer called out from his station. Vex waved a clawed hand. "Probably debris from the colony." "Ignore it." "No, sir, it is moving. Coming from deep space, it is big." The celebration on the bridge stopped. Vex walked to the sensor display and looked at the readings. His eyes narrowed. A single contact was approaching their position, emerging from the darkness between stars where no ship should be traveling. "What is that?" Vex demanded. "Unknown, sir. The signature does not match anything in our database. It is still too far to identify." Aboard the approaching vessel, Captain James Reed sat in his command chair and watched the tactical display. His ship, the Defiant, had been traveling through deep space for 3 weeks, running dark and silent. The distress call from New Terra had reached Earth 6 days ago. He had been close enough to respond. Distance to target? Reed asked calmly. Lieutenant Maya Foster checked her console. 2 million kilometers and closing, Captain. The Draxian fleet is holding position around the colony. Any response to our approach? They see us on sensors, but they have not moved yet. I think they are confused, sir. Reed allowed himself a thin smile. The Defiant was unlike any ship the aliens had encountered before. Human engineering had taken a different path than the rest of the galaxy. While other races built many smaller ships, humanity had focused on creating fewer, larger vessels packed with technology the aliens did not understand. "Open a channel to the Draxian flagship," Reed ordered. On Vex's bridge, a communication alert sounded. The commander gestured for his crew to accept it. The view screen flickered, showing the interior of the human bridge. Captain Reed sat calmly in his chair, his gray hair and worn face showing his years of service. "I am Captain James Reed of the Earth warship Defiant. You have attacked a human colony without provocation. You have killed innocent people. I am here to give you one chance to surrender." Laughter erupted on the Draxian bridge. Vex stepped forward, his tall frame filling the screen. "One ship against 20? You humans are even more foolish than I thought. We have destroyed your colony. We will destroy you next. Then we will move on to Earth itself and show the galaxy that humans are weak." Reed's expression did not change. "Is that your final answer?" "Yes, human. Run home while you still can. This is Draxian space now." "Wrong answer," Reed said quietly. He gestured to his tactical officer. "Lieutenant Foster, cut transmission." The screen went dark. Vex turned to his weapons officer. "All ships, combat formation. Prepare to engage the human vessel. I want it torn apart slowly. Let them send a message home about what happens when you challenge the Draxian Empire." The 20 warships began to move, spreading out to surround the approaching Defiant. Their weapons charged, ready to fire. Vex felt confident. No single ship could stand against his entire fleet. On the Defiant, Captain Reed stood from his chair and walked to the front viewport. The Draxian fleet was now visible, their ships forming an attack pattern. "All hands, battle stations," he announced over the ship-wide intercom. "Charge main weapons. Bring the reactors to full power. Disengage stealth systems." The Defiant lit up like a small sun as its massive power systems came online. The ship was 3 times larger than any Draxian vessel, bristling with weapons and armor the aliens had never seen before. "Let them see what happens when you threaten human worlds," Reed said calmly. The battle was about to begin. Asterisk, the Draxian sensor operator stared at display in confusion. The numbers made no sense. The human ship that had been a single contact moments ago now showed power readings that exceeded his entire fleet combined. Commander Vex, the human vessel. Its energy output is impossible. Our sensors must be malfunctioning. Vex snarled. Fix them. Now. I am trying, sir, but all systems show the readings are accurate. That ship should not be able to generate that much power. Across the void of space, the Defiant moved forward at a steady pace. Inside the engineering section, Chief Engineer Tom Miller watched his reactors humming with perfect efficiency. Humans had solved the power generation problem differently than other races. While aliens used conventional fusion, humanity had pushed further, developing quantum cascade reactors that could power a small city. "Captain, all weapons are charged and ready," Lieutenant Foster reported. "Enemy fleet is moving to surround us. They will be in firing range in 90 seconds. Captain Red nodded. "Hold fire until they commit. I want them to make the first move." "Sir, are you sure? They outnumber us 20 to 1. "They think they do," Reed replied. "Let them learn otherwise." On the Draxian flagship, Vex watched the human ship approaching. It moved with strange grace for something so large. His tactical officer had plotted the enemy vessel's path and found it heading directly toward the center of their formation. "Arrogant fools," Vex muttered. "They sail right into our trap. All ships, prepare to fire on my command." Elder Tarn watched the unfolding scene from his observation ship, positioned a safe distance away. He was a representative of the Galactic Council, sent to monitor the situation. His species, the Kelphans, were one of the oldest in known space. He had seen many wars, many battles. Something about this felt different. "Ship AI, analyze the human vessel's approach vector," Tarn said quietly. "Analysis complete. The human ship is not attempting evasive maneuvers. It appears to be deliberately positioning itself to face maximum enemy firepower. That makes no tactical sense unless—" Tarn's aged eyes widened. "Unless they want the enemy to attack first. Record everything. I believe we are about to witness something important." The distance closed. 50 seconds, 40, 30. "All ships, lock weapons on target," Vex commanded. His fleet obeyed, 20 warships training their guns on the single human vessel. "Fire!" Space erupted with light. Energy beams, plasma bolts, and missiles streaked toward the Defiant from all directions. The Draxian crews watched their displays, expecting to see the human ship torn apart under the massive barrage. Instead, something impossible happened. A shimmering blue field appeared around the Defiant, covering the entire ship in a protective bubble. The alien weapons struck the barrier and simply stopped. The energy dissipated harmlessly. The missiles exploded uselessly against the shield. Not a single shot reached the hull. "What is that?" Vex roared. "What kind of shield technology is that?" His science officer worked frantically at his console. "Sir, our database has no record of such defensive systems. The shield is absorbing all incoming energy and redirecting it somehow. Our weapons are completely ineffective." On the Defiant's bridge, Reed watched calmly as the enemy barrage faded away. "Shield status? Holding at 98%, Captain. Their weapons barely registered." "Good. Now show them what humans brought to this fight. Target their flagship. Fire main cannon." The Defiant's forward section opened, revealing a massive weapon that ran nearly the length of the ship. Energy gathered at the barrel's mouth, glowing brighter and brighter. The main cannon was humanity's answer to the age-old question of space warfare. How do you hit something at extreme range with absolute certainty? The answer was simple. You hit it with so much power that dodging became impossible. A beam of pure white energy lanced out from the Defiant, crossing the distance to the Draxian flagship in less than a second. Vex had time to see it coming, but no time to react. The beam struck his ship's bow and punched straight through, melting armor and hull like paper. The flagship shuddered. Explosions rippled down its length as secondary systems overloaded. Vex was thrown from his feet, alarms screaming throughout the vessel. "Damage report," he shouted. "Forward sections 1 through 5 destroyed, sir. We have lost main weapons and engines are at 20%. Shields are offline." Vex pulled himself up, staring at the view screen. The human ship sat there, unchanged, undamaged. One shot had crippled his flagship. All ships, concentrate fire. Take down that vessel. The remaining 19 Draxian. Warships opened fire again, this time focusing all their weapons on a single point of the Defiant's shield. Maybe, if they could overload one section, they could break through. Reed watched the tactical display. They are learning. Not fast enough, though. Lieutenant Foster, target the 3 ships on our port side. Fire secondary batteries. Smaller turrets along the Defiant's hull swiveled and fired. Unlike the main cannon, these were rapid-fire weapons that could engage multiple targets. The human ship had dozens of them. Asterisk. 3 Draxian warships exploded almost simultaneously, their hulls torn apart by the concentrated fire. The aliens had never faced weapons with such accuracy and power. Their own ships relied on volume of fire. The humans seemed to make every shot count. Elder Tarn watched in amazement from his observation post. "By the ancient stars," he whispered, "the humans have been holding back. All this time, they have been holding back." "Commander Vex," his communications officer called out, voice shaking with fear. "The other ships are requesting permission to retreat." Vex stared at the battlefield. In less than 2 minutes, he had lost 4 ships, and his flagship was crippled. The human vessel had not even been scratched. "Retreat?" Vex said slowly. Then louder, "Retreat? No. We are the Draxian Empire. We do not run from a single enemy ship." But even as he spoke, 3 more of his vessels were torn apart by the Defiant's weapons. The human ship moved through his fleet like a predator among prey, each shot precise and devastating. Captain Reed stood on his bridge, watching the enemy formation fall apart. "Hail them again." Vex's face appeared on screen, his bridge behind him filled with smoke and sparks. "Last chance," Reed said simply. "Surrender now, or I will destroy every single one of your ships." Commander Vex stared at the human captain on his view screen. Pride warred with survival instinct in his mind. Around him, his bridge crew waited in tense silence. 7 ships gone. 13 remained, but they were scattered and afraid. "You cannot defeat the entire Draxian Empire," Vex said, though his voice lacked its earlier confidence. "Even if you destroy this fleet, more will come. Hundreds of ships, thousands." Captain Reed's expression remained calm. "Then they will meet the same fate as you. Humanity did not want this war, Commander. You brought it to our doorstep. You attacked peaceful colonists. You killed families. Did you think we would not respond?" "One ship cannot protect all of humanity," Vex argued. "One ship?" Reed smiled coldly. "Commander, the Defiant is not alone. We are just the closest. There are 12 more ships like this one already moving toward Draxian space. And Earth is building more every month." The color drained from Vex's scaled face. 12 more? The galaxy had believed humans only possessed patrol vessels and transports. No one knew they had built warships. No one knew these warships were so powerful. Lieutenant Foster spoke quietly from her station. Captain, 4 more Draxian vessels are attempting to flee the battlefield. Reed nodded. Let them go. Track their course. They will spread the word about what happened here. Sometimes fear is more effective than destruction. Elder Tarn continued recording from his observation ship. His hands shook slightly as he worked. In his 300 years of life, he had never seen anything like this. The Galactic Council needed to know the truth about humanity. The humans are not the weak species we believed, Tarn spoke into his log. They have technology beyond our understanding. They have power we cannot match. And most importantly, they have been patient with us. They joined the Council. They followed our rules. They asked for peace. And we allowed the Draxians to attack them. We thought humans were harmless. On the Defiant, Reed turned to his communications officer. Open a channel to New Terra Colony. Any survivors? Static filled the speakers for a moment, and a weak voice came through. This is Dr. Lisa Grant. We have survivors in the emergency shelters. The main settlement is destroyed, but 300 people made it underground before the attack. Reed felt relief wash over him. Not everyone had died. Dr. Grant, help is coming. Medical ships will arrive within 6 hours. Hold on. Captain, the doctor's voice wavered with emotion. Thank you. We thought no one would come in time. Humanity protects its own, Reed said firmly. Always. Commander Vex watched this exchange on his damaged view screen. Something shifted in his understanding. The humans had not rushed to destroy his fleet immediately. They had given warnings. They had offered surrender. Even now, they were letting some of his ships escape. This was not the behavior of mindless warriors. These were calculated actions from a species that understood both mercy and strength. Captain Reed, Vex said slowly, I surrender. My remaining ships will power down weapons and prepare to be taken into custody. Reed studied the Draxian commander for a long moment. A wise choice. You will be returned to your government with a message. Humanity wants peace, but we will defend ourselves. The next commander who attacks human colonies will not receive the mercy I am showing you today. I understand, Vex replied quietly. His pride was broken, but he was alive. That was more than he deserved after what he had done. The remaining Draxian ships powered down their weapons one by one. Human patrol vessels that had been waiting at the edge of the system moved in to take them into custody. The battle was over. Elder Tarn transmitted his report to the Galactic Council immediately. Within hours, the recording of the battle spread across known space. Every species watched in shock as a single human warship defeated an entire Draxian fleet. The political consequences were immediate. The Draxian Empire issued a formal apology to humanity and recalled all ships from human borders. Other aggressive species that had been considering expansion toward Earth territory suddenly reconsidered their plans. 3 days later, Captain Reed stood before the Galactic Council via holographic transmission. The assembled alien representatives looked at him with a mixture of fear and respect. Captain Reed, the council leader spoke. We must ask, why did humanity hide the existence of these warships? Why did you not tell us of your military capabilities? Reed clasped his hands behind his back. Because we hoped we would never need them. Humanity learned long ago that showing strength invites challenge. We wanted to join the galaxy as partners, not conquerors. We built these ships as a last defense, hoping they would never leave dock. And now? The council leader asked. Now the galaxy knows the truth. Humanity is not weak. We are not easy prey, but we are also not aggressors. We will continue to seek peace. We will continue to trade and share knowledge. But any species that threatens human worlds will face the consequences. The council chamber fell silent. Finally, the leader nodded. The council formally recognizes Earth's military sovereignty and promises no member species will threaten human territory. We also propose a mutual defense treaty. Your ships are powerful. Perhaps they could help maintain peace across the galaxy. Reed considered this. We will discuss the treaty. But understand this. Humanity will not be the galaxy's police force. We will defend our allies, but we will not fight wars of conquest. That is not who we are. Back on the Defiant, Lieutenant Foster approached Captain Red after the transmission ended. Sir, do you think they will leave us alone now? Reed looked out at the stars through the bridge viewport. Some will. Others will test us eventually. That is the nature of the galaxy. But today, we sent a message. Humanity is here. We are strong. And we will not be pushed around. What about New Terra Colony? Foster asked. Will they rebuild? Already in progress. Engineering teams arrived this morning. The colony will be bigger and better than before. And this time, it will have proper defenses. Reed smiled slightly. We are not going to hide anymore, Lieutenant. The galaxy wanted to know what humans are capable of. Now they know. Far away, on dozens of worlds across the galaxy, military leaders studied the recordings of the battle. Some saw opportunity. Most saw a warning. The humans had entered the galactic stage, not as supplicants, but as equals. Commander Vex sat in his detention cell aboard a human prison transport. He had lost his fleet, his command, and his honor. But he had gained something else, understanding. The humans were not like other species. They valued life, even enemy life. They offered mercy when they could have shown only destruction. He would return to the Draxian Empire and tell his leaders the truth. Humanity was not an enemy to provoke. They were a sleeping giant that had finally awakened. And the galaxy would never be the same. Captain James Reed returned to his chair and looked at his crew. Good people. Brave people. They had done what was necessary to protect innocent lives. Set course for Earth, he ordered. Let us go home. The Defiant turned in space, its massive engines glowing as it prepared for the journey home. Behind it lay a battlefield and a broken enemy fleet. Ahead lay a future where humanity would stand tall among the stars. They had thought they could win. They had been wrong, and now everyone knew it. The end asterisk.